Rehabilitation NBER, National Institute for the Empowerment of Persons with Visual Disability, to the 25th webinar. These series are organized for the benefits of PWD students, lecturers, families of PWDs. In the same, here we are gathered, here we and Divine Soul, His Holiness Bhakti Anugraha Janardhan Swamiji Maharaj, who is disciple of 𝘾𝙃𝙄𝙀𝙁 Swamiji in 2014. He was awarded sannyasi's initiation by 𝘾𝙃𝙄𝙀 Swamiji. His Holiness 𝘾𝙃𝙄𝙀 Swamiji has recommended making a member of the Vrindavan Executive Board. His Holiness Bhakti Anugraha Janardhan Swami has also passed the Bhakti Shastri test. He has been preaching in New Delhi, Vrindavan, Philippines. His Holiness Bhakti Anugraha Janardhan Swami travels for preaching in Philippines and other countries. It is a proud moment for all of us to connect with Maharaj and accept our invitation. That would Pranam Maharaj Ji. Now I would request to Dr. JASMER SINGH sir, kindly welcome Maharaj Ji and other dignitaries in this webinar. Over to you, sir. Thank you. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes, I'm very happy to partake into your meeting this morning on all the personalities in charge and the teachers and also students of this National Institute for the Empowerment of Persons with Visual Disabilities, DERADUN, and under the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, Government of India. This is our first meeting, and somehow or other, due to pandemic, we are able to communicate with many people and devotees all over the world. And this is my first meeting with you all. So, namaskaram. First, we usually chant a little bit, and then we will start to our talk about this program today, which you also chose about mental well-being through spirituality, or how to be happy. Or it disturbs a lot of people. It imbalance the nature of mental capacity, well-being of many people, if not all of us. And we will discuss this, how we can go beyond, because ultimately, according to the Srimad Bhagavatam, or the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, it comes and goes. It's like seasons, summer, winter. It comes and goes. It's not really like permanent. Ultimately, it is real, but at the same time, it is non-permanent. So what to do about the situation and how to go beyond this? Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giribharadhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giribharadhari Yasodhanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yasodhanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachati Yamuna Tira Vanachati Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimati Gopal Krishna Goswami Tamane Prabhupada Sahitam Yapakasha Bhitiracha Charangirvansari Bhagatpati Maha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalang Shri Gurung Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatan Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Shindo Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vindavaniswari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpataru Vyascha Kripashindu Vyayivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So I would like to read from the Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is. This Bhagavad Gita Meaning the song of God.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj ji. Firstly, I would like to, sir, thank you very much on behalf of our National Institute
Okay.
that you accept our invitation, and also we are very thankful to your management for giving the opportunity and connection with us. Sir, I want to tell you, sir, that in our India, the NIVH National Institute for the Visually Handicapped is serving for person with visual impairment and
Yes.
children with visual impairment for their education, for their employment, for their rehabilitation, and also for their equal opportunity, not only in India but also across the world. Also, the peoples get education here and go to other places of the world. Same time, in India, our unit is preparing teachers for the visually handicapped, visually impaired students. There are more than in a 1 year, 2,000 teachers are prepared for the visually impaired. And now in one session with us, near about 5,000 teachers do their training program 2 year. Similarly, we have also connected 500 teacher trainees, teacher educator who are prepared the trainees. So this is a very good opportunity. Maharaj, like you are giving us a message how we will be fit in the COVID wave 2, because the people are suffering from lot of their issues due to family, due to COVID, due to impact. And your words will inspire us and our team, the students also saying and listening through YouTube also, and directly many of they will also doing this type of program at their own centers. We have 120 center in 25 states in India, and each state there are also very good types of the spirituality among the visually impaired students and the other sighted students. In one of our institute, 𝘾𝙃𝙄𝙀𝙁 Institute, that is also providing in Prayagraj, a good in Varanasi. He is also providing very good type of the education, not for the visually impaired, but in inclusive mode, sir. So this is so on behalf of Niepvd and on behalf of our director, National Institute of the Empowerment of Person with Disability, we are, sir, humbly very feeling happy that you are, sir, with us. I want to tell all the audience about Maharaj ji. His Holiness Bhakti Anugraha Janardhan Swami ji is disciple of 𝘒𝙀𝙗𝙁. He has been preaching in New Delhi, Vrindavan, and Philippines. Maharaj is from Philippine origin, and he is very comfortable in Hindi and our local language. Maharaj received his Bhagavad Gita at the age of 17 in Canada, Toronto. And Maharaji comes across the devotees in the Canada, in Toronto in 1984. From the teenage days, Maharaji was very curious about our philosophy, the Indian philosophy, yani ki Bhagavad Gita philosophy. It is the charm of Bhagavad Gita that the abroad peoples also like our Bhakti. And he came across with Sarila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada's books, which inspired him and twins his spiritual trust. Maharaji later decided to shift to the temple and serve ESKCON full time. This is the Maharaji philosophy about our Indian philosophy, that Maharaj is serving full time in the ESKCON temple, and this is, sir, the give the prayers to our audience and our teachers. We are very feeling, sir, blessing with your kind prayer. Maharaji later decided to shift to temple and serve ESKCON in full time. Maharaji is serving ESKCON in various projects globally at the different level. He is also the part of the executive committee of the ESKCON Vrindavan, because Vrindavan is the headquarters of the ESKCON. We would like to welcome Maharaji with our heartfelt gratitude for his precious time in this webinar. And in future, we will also, sir, keep connect with you and all the ESKCON. Sir, Dandvat Pranam, Hari Bol, और सबका कल्याण हो, यही भावना है हमारी. सब हैप्पी रहे, सभी हमारे कोर्स कोऑर्डिनेटर इसी प्रकार का प्रोग्राम करें. बहुत बहुत नमस्ते. थैंक यू वेरी मच, सर.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I would like to read from the Bhagavad Gita as it is, as you have mentioned, which is, this is universal knowledge. This not just for the people of India or those who are followers of what you call Hindus or Hinduism. There is no ism in here. This is a universal knowledge which is applicable to every walks of life. It doesn't matter what religion you belong to, what society, what class, what nationality, what country. This is for everyone, because the message is specifically for all of us. In human form of life, there is a purpose, and we have to live our life in such a way that we become happy. This material world, according to Bhagavad Gita, is a place of miseries. 𝙒𝘃𝙄𝙬𝙗, because it is temporary. So I would like to read from the second chapter, contents of the Gita summarized, text number 14, sloka number 14. Matra sparsas tu konteya sitosna sukadukada agamapayino nityas tam stitiksasva bharata. Srila Prabhupada's translation and purport. Srila Prabhupada is the founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, and we are teaching and applying this knowledge all over the world. We have 450 centers all over the world, and we have thousands and thousands of members, not just in India, but all over the world, just like your school. O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception, O scion of Bharata, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. The explanation of our Guru, spiritual master, the founder. In the proper discharge of duty, one has to learn to tolerate non-permanent appearances and disappearances of happiness and distress. According to Vedic injunction, one has to take his bath early in the morning, even during the month of Magh, January and February. It is very cold at that time, but in spite of that, a man who abides by the religious principles does not hesitate to take his bath. Similarly, a woman does not hesitate to cook in the kitchen in the months of May and June, the hottest part of the summer season. One has to execute his duty in spite of climatic inconvenience or inconveniences. Similarly, to fight is the religious principle of the Kshatriyas, and although one has to fight with some friend or relative, one should not deviate from his prescribed duty. One has to follow the prescribed rules and regulations of religious principles in order to rise up to the platform of knowledge. By knowledge and devotion, only can one liberate himself from the clutches of Maya illusion. So here, Lord Krishna is talking to Arjuna, and he is explaining about this different appearance of happiness and distress. This is temporary, it's non-permanent. And their appearance is compared to like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. The first teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, previous to this, chapter 13, Chapter 2, text 13, it says that we're not this body. Dehinosmin yata dehe komaram yovanam jara tata dehantara praptirs dhiras tatra namuyate. It says there, as the embodied soul pass by from boyhood to youth to old age, and also at the time of death, the soul goes on to the next body. Similarly, it is just like changing of our cloth. We change our cloth every day, but we're the same person. And one who knows this knowledge, he is sober. Dhira. So a sober person, he understands the science of the soul. And the science of the soul means we are not this body. We're all spirit souls. And as spirit souls, ultimately we don't have anything to do with this material world. And the nature of the spirit soul, that means everyone moving and non-moving, not just in the human platform, but also in the animal platform, the aquatics, reptiles, insects, plants, trees, mammals, and human platform, says that there are 8,400,000 species of life. And everyone is looking for happiness. This is the nature of the soul. Ananda Maya Vyasat. Ananda, bliss. So everyone is searching after happiness, but we do not know what real happiness is. And we see so much advertisements about happiness. Practically speaking, we see only few people are happy. Only few. Because those few people, they know that the platform of real happiness is beyond temporary things. It is the real happiness that is described in Bhagavad Gita by Lord Krishna to Arjuna. So what's going on right now in this world, especially in this COVID pandemic, we've been bombarded by this virus. Is going on for over a year now, since 2020, January it started in China, and then it spreads all over the world, and spread exponentially in some places like US, Brazil, especially in India. We're second to US in terms of the casualties. We already crossed over 300,000 casualties, and many are infected every day, lakhs and lakhs of people still, but many are surviving. But somehow or other, most of the people now are in big grief. They are grief-stricken. Because of this, what's going on. But this will go again. It will come, it came, and it will go again. It's like right now, we are locked down here in Delhi, but surely after some time, it will be not locked down. It'll be unlocked by the government or the state. But then we still have to be careful. And ultimately, the message of the Bhagavad Gita is that this will come and go. We should not be affected. We only become affected by these miseries. There are three types of miseries. Miseries coming from our body, especially the mind. When we say the body, that includes the mind. We get sick. We got disease, we got toothache. These are miseries of the body. Then miseries coming from natural calamity. Natural calamity means cyclone or earthquake. So many calamities all over the world. It was going on like that. It's like in Philippines, we have typhoons, or there is another type of miseries is inflicted by other living beings. Other living beings means, yes, like, if there even just one mosquito flying near you and you have a mosquito net and there's a mosquito inside, and the mosquito will disturb you the whole night. You'll not be able to sleep. So, but ultimately though, these miseries, only one can transcend these miseries ultimately if he understands that he is not the body, that he is spirit soul. And as spirit living beings, we are meant to not to stay here in this material world, but part of being in the material world is this, 𝙒𝘾𝙄𝙬𝙬, is full of miseries and it is temporary. And there is also this fourfold miseries, which is like birth, death, old age, and disease. Birth. When we take birth, is not a very joyful experience. It's not a happy experience. Why? Because, inside the body of our mother, we're like almost suffocated. We want to get out. It says in the Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, that the baby inside the womb of the mother is praying. He's praying to Krishna. He's praying to God that please get me out of this place. I cannot take this anymore, because inside the baby is covered with pus, blood, and mucus, and so many also some germs biting the body. So he wants to get out. So he's praying that, oh, Krishna, please let me get out of here as soon as possible. But that cannot be, because baby has to stay there for 9 months. And the baby was praying that as soon as I come out of the womb of my mother, I will surrender unto you. I will follow all of your instructions. But then when the baby comes out, then, and especially when the baby started to be surrounded by the family members and friends and relatives and trying to play with the baby, then the baby forgets his prayers or her prayers to the Supreme Lord. Yes, birth, as soon as one takes birth, one dies. Death is for everyone. Death is 100% everywhere. Don't think that only in India people are dying because of COVID. Everywhere in the world also, they're dying because of COVID or some other diseases or some other ailments that pertains to the body. Birth, death, old age. Who wants to grow old? No one wants to grow old. As much as possible, we want to remain young and we don't want to die. But that cannot be. We will all get old. This body is made of material elements, 5 gross, earth, water, fire, air, and ether. And 3 subtle elements, mind, intelligence, and ego. So, yes, birth, death, old age, and disease. No one wants to get any disease. No one wants to die. No one wants to take birth. So, but there is a solution for this, because happiness is generally perceived through our senses. Actually, the soul is separate from the body. The soul may be encaged within the body. That's the fact. But still, the soul is not affected by what's going on externally. It's only when we think or when we identify, that means when the soul So much covered up by the modes of nature, namely sattva-gun, raja-gun, and tama-gun, goodness, passion, and ignorance. This is considered like a rope. It's like in Manila, the Philippines, they have what you call Manila hemp. So it's like a rope entwined 3 times, and this binds the living beings in the material world. The material energy is called Maya. Maya means that which is not, or that which is like illusion. Maya is compared to like considering a rope to be a snake, or a snake to be rope, vice versa. So Maya is an energy of the super that pervades the entire material world. There is also a spiritual energy in the spiritual world, Antaranga Shakti. And in the material world is the Maya, or this illusory energy. And the purpose of Maya, this energy, is to bind us, to not let us go out of this material world, and to put us in illusion that we will be happy in this world. But it's not possible. It's not possible to be happy in this world, the living beings, the jiva, the atma, because it says in the Shastras, an example is given, just like we're like fish out of the water. Our original habitat as pure living beings, this jiva is Satchit Ananda, full of knowledge, bliss, and eternity, but it became covered up by the modes of material nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance. And the more one is covered up, especially with ignorance and passion, then the more he suffers, the more he feels the miseries of this world. So, yes, Maya puts us into illusion, thinking that, yes, I could be happy in this world, but no possible. The spirit soul can only be happy if he goes back into the spiritual world where he eternally resides or belongs. But our coming here in the material world, it says that we wanted to be happy separate from Krishna. We wanted to be happy separate from God. So the material world was created for those like us who wants to enjoy separate or apart or far away from Lord Krishna. The Supreme Lord is eternally in the spiritual world. So the material world is like that. We're brought here. It's like this is a learning ground. This is what you say, a reformatory place where somehow or other, one day we will wake up and we will realize that, yes, I cannot be happy here. If you ask a person who is sick in a hospital and you ask him, how are you? Most of the times they will say, I'm fine, I'm okay. And Prabhupada gave an example also. If you ask a tree, tree, are you happy? Are you feeling happy? And the tree might say, oh yes, I'm happy standing here all year long. I'm enjoying the wind. I'm enjoying the scorching heat, and I'm enjoying the winter time. Very, very cold. But of course, that is the tree. But for the human being, it's not possible. That's not real enjoyment. So, what the Shastra is telling us is that there are different kinds or grades of living beings, and according to their perception, they have different levels of happiness. But real happiness is spiritual happiness. There is also material happiness. There's like, advertisements everywhere. Buy this, buy that, or buy this car, buy this new house, or increase your belongings, increase your high-tech toys. But this will never really make person happy. It says in the Srimad Bhagavatam that it is like puna punas charbita charbinanam. It's like chewing the chewed. Material happiness is like chewing the chewed. You must have seen, like, in Vrindavan, we have this, people, they buy juice and they have this machine that they put the sugar cane, and then somehow the sugar cane also is going back again and again and again, many, many times, trying to squeeze as much juice from the sugar cane. No more is coming out. So we're chewing whatever we have tasted, but we're searching for higher level of juice or rasa or enjoyment, but it's not coming out anymore. Material happiness cannot fully satisfy the soul because there's no similarities. The spirit is eternal. The jiva is considered as like very minute, 1/10,000, the tip of the hair, the size, but it's very powerful, very, very powerful. But when we become covered up by the material energy, then the degrees of happiness that we feel is accordingly. It's not the same. So it says in the Bhagavad Gita again, Sukham atyantikam yattad buddhi-grayam atindriyai veti yatra nachayvayam stitas chalati tatvata. In that joyous state, samadhi, one is situated in boundless transcendental happiness and enjoys himself through transcendental senses. Established thus, one never departs from the truth. So what this means is that we have this buddhi, intelligence, and the intelligence. The purpose of intelligence is to gather knowledge. That's like your school is divya gyan, divya gyan. Is that right? Divya gyan means realized knowledge. So what the Bhagavad Gita says is about knowledge, and we have to apply this knowledge. That the first thing that we have to understand, because we're spirit soul, we're covered up, then we have to get out of these coverings of these modes of material nature by purifying our senses. Having the mind become peaceful, undisturbed, sharpen our intelligence by constant hearing and chanting and remembering the Supreme Lord. Especially in this day and age, we have to focus our mind, not to delve too much of the infliction of this miseries has been given by other living entities, but we should always be focused on the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Purifying the senses, we have the sense of taste, we have the tongue, we have the sense of smell, the nose, we have the sense of hearing, the ears, we have the sense of sight, the eyes, we have the sense of touch, the tactiles. So because the nature of the senses is just always want to enjoy. That is a nature. The senses always want to be in proper situation, situated in such a way that it is comfortable and enjoying. But in spiritual life, we cannot have the senses be loose. The senses has to be controlled. And how to control the senses? By utilizing our senses in the service of the Supreme Lord. The mind has to become peaceful. Right now, the mind is very disturbed, especially what's going on right now. But the mind can only be peaceful and can only be controlled if we focus on Lord Krishna or the Supreme Lord. There's no other way that we can be peaceful. Now, how can we be peaceful? Because the mind always make plans, always think of how to enjoy by the senses with the sense objects. So there is a hierarchy here. The senses, then the mind, and then there is an intelligence. The intelligence has to gather knowledge. Knowledge from the right source. Knowledge from the Sastra or scriptures, the Vedas. The Vedas are considered to be our mother. Because the purpose of human form of life is to understand and develop love towards Krishna, our Supreme Father. So if you want to find out who is your Father, because that is our nature, Krishna or God is the supreme enjoyer and we are the enjoyed. The problem here is that we want to be the supreme proprietor. And that cannot be. We're always going to be servants and Krishna is always the Supreme Lord. This is the position of God. He is the enjoyer, we are the enjoyed. He is the proprietor and we are the creations. He is the creator and we are the created. So, if we do our part, especially the intelligence has to be sharpened by the knowledge coming from the Vedas. Vedas means like mother. If you want to find out who is your father, you ask your mother. So, buddhi. Buddhi means knowledge. So one has to be intelligent if he wants to enjoy. Animals do not have really developed intelligence, and so they cannot enjoy as human being can. We have to use properly. It says that if we serve the Supreme Lord, and there is what you call yoga. Yoga means to link up. It came from the word yoke. Or this, like the bulls, when they till the land, they put like a wooden thing around their neck. This is what you call yoke. And this is the connection between the rope so that the rope can be controlled by the farmer. And they'll be able to go, the bulls can be able to go where the farmer decides. So similarly, yoga means to link up. And this is our eternal nature, to link up with the Supreme Lord. That is our Sanatan Dharma, to serve the Supreme Lord. An example is just like given, sugar is sweet. You cannot separate sugar from sweetness, or sweetness from sugar, or the salt is salty. It cannot be interchanged. The salt cannot be sweet and the sugar cannot be salty. That is not their nature. The fire, the nature of the fire is heat and light. The nature of water is liquid. Of course, sometimes that changes. Sometimes it becomes solid. But then ultimately it goes back again to become liquid. So our nature right now is covered up. It's covered up. and we're not really able to enjoy. As a spiritual spark, the enjoying propensity is always there, but because of being in this material world, being bombarded by many, many things in the material world, we cannot exhibit that. And that's why it says that the senses has to be purified. Atasi Krishna namadi 𝙒𝙀𝙗𝙗𝙬𝙗 Sevan 𝘾𝙃𝙄𝙬𝙍. So the first thing that we have to control is the tongue. Of all the senses, the tongue is the most ferocious, is the most difficult to control. And there is the function of the tongue, two functions of the tongue. What are the functions of the tongue? To taste and to vibrate. So, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Patram puspam palam toyam 𝘂𝙃𝙄𝙬𝙍. That if one offers me a leaf, a fruit, a flower, or some water, I will accept it, if it's done with love and devotion. So, in the process of becoming happy, we have to follow 4 regulative principles. No meat eating, because meat eating, there's no mercy there. And Prabhupada says the cause of war is meat eating. Even this COVID, it says that the start of this is the uncontrolled tongue. It started in a marketplace where they were selling obnoxious, lower grades of living beings. Oh, you must have seen that in the video where they were selling, cutting many, many things. No meat eating, no intoxication. That means no cigarette, no coffee, no chai, no pan, no bidi, no gambling. Gambling means mental speculation. They're hankering to win big amount of money, huge amount of money, but not possible. Only 1 in a million will win. So that puts you in anxiety. And no illicit sex. No sex outside of marriage. And if marriage is there, then only for procreation, to beget a child. So this prohibition actually is the seemingly like they're restrictions, but actually they're pillars of freedom. 4 pillars of religion that if we follow, then we become free, we become mukta, we become liberated. And then specifically in this day and age, if one wants to be happy and not be affected by the modes of material nature of any miseries, is to chant the holy name of the Lord. Now, there's only one God. For those followers of Vaishnava religion, his name is Krishna. The original name for God is Krishna, meaning all attractive. He appeared 5,000 years ago in Vrindavan. It's about 2.5 hours away from Delhi, the city of Vrindavan, Mathura. And in different religions, he's called in different names, like Allah for the Muslim, Jehovah, Yahweh, unlimited names, Ram, Keshava, Murari, Giriraj, Gopal, many names, because God has many different activities. He is called a specific name according to his activities. So if we call upon the name of God, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the incarnation also of Lord Krishna, who appeared 500 years ago, He's the one who inaugurated the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And the meaning of the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, is to ask, O energy of the Lord, Hara is the invocative of Hare or Radha or Radhe. O energy of the Lord, internal potency, Hiladani Shakti, the pleasure-giving potency of the Supreme Lord, please engage me in Krishna, in your Krishna, meaning the all-attractive, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Rama also. Rama is another name for Krishna, who is the source of all pleasure. So if we pray like this, O energy of the Supreme Lord, please engage me in your service, and therefore, in this way, I will be eternally happy. Ultimately, if one serves the Supreme Lord, he automatically will be happy. And what are these 9 processes? It says in the Srimad Bhagavatam again, it starts with hearing and chanting. If we constantly think of Krishna in Kali Yuga, where we are right now, the best way to think of Krishna is to chant his names. Hearing, chanting, remembering the Supreme Lord. One may say, how can I remember Krishna? How can I think of Krishna? Yeah, that's why he called Smaranam. He has so many activities, so many pastimes where he performed 5,000 years ago. Remembering, becoming his friend, Sakyam, Vandanam, offering prayers to the Supreme Lord. Archanam means worshipping the Supreme Lord in his deity form. Murti, becoming his friend Sakyam, becoming his servant Dashyam, and ultimately giving up everything for the benefit of the Supreme Lord. So we can transcend these material senses, and therefore we'll be able to appreciate real happiness. It's like the yogis, they transcend their bodily demands and the senses, and they be able to meditate even the Himalayas, even in the coldest time of the year, not affected, no clothes at all. In the summertime, they can meditate and even surround with them with some very, very hot coal. So actually, the miseries is only in our mind. If the mind is always thinking of Krishna, chanting his holy name, then we will not be affected by any of this. And death is for sure. If somehow or other someone died within our family, we should understand that they'll go on to the next level of form again. If they live a very religious life, then they will elevate themselves till they reach the spiritual world. We should not be so sad and miserable if somebody died, like our friends or relatives or friends and loved ones. The soul doesn't die. The soul is eternal. It goes on to the next body till it reaches the supreme destination, the spiritual world. So the best thing that we can do right now is to make ourselves become free from these miseries and sufferings by understanding who we are, by understanding that we're not this body. This is what we call Gyan. And Divya Gyan means practicing. Understanding that we are not the body, that we are soul is not enough. Then when we practice the knowledge coming from Bhagavad Gita or other Vedic literatures, then we will be able to be really happy even in this material body. And ultimately, this material body, when our knowledge becomes more and more purified, our body also becomes purified. Then there is no more miseries, there is no more sufferings, because Krishna is there. You are connected with the Supreme Lord. So the process of establishing oneself in real happiness is this process of Krishna consciousness, because this is our eternal consciousness. This is who we are. And that's the only way how we can survive in any calamities, in any miseries, in any sufferings of this world. We should be like a lotus flower on the water and not touched by the water. It's waterproof. Lotus flower is on the water, but it's not wet. So our existence should be like that right now. Or try to develop that kind of existence by purifying our consciousness, to always think of Krishna and never forget him. Manmana babamad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. We should be steady. And steady, this is a gradual process. It takes time. It could be for others, they can make it fast, but still it's a gradual. And usually it is slow because of our attachment. We cannot give up many of our bad habits. We have to give them up, all up, because we came here alone and we will live alone also. No one will be with us. Our parents will not be with us. Our children will not be with us when we leave this body. Our friends will not be with us. Our relatives will not be with us. It's only the soul's journey on the way to Krishna. Hare Krishna. So we stop here. If you have any questions or comments, we'll be happy to hear them. You are all very intelligent teachers and students and parents. So if you have any questions or comments, you can give. I hope you'll able to relate to what we said or what we discussed this morning. Everyone is leaving one by one.
Excuse me, Maharaj-ji. Pranam.
Yes, sir.
Maharaj-ji, we forget the chanting when we engage ourselves in our duties. What is the way, how to practice chanting and doing work simultaneously? Kindly suggest, Maharaj-ji.
Hare Krishna, I think so there is a network issue.
Madam, Hare Krishna. Madam.
Ji Mishra sir.
Madam, it's audible. Voice is audible. Maharaj-ji is not audible now.
हाँ जी. मिश्रा सर मैं एक मिनट चेक करती हूँ अभी ना.
जी मैडम. हरे कृष्णा.
मिश्रा सर प्लीज आप अपना क्वेश्चन पूछ लीजिए.
I'm sorry, I got disconnected. Can you
Maharaji,
hear me?
my question was, Maharaji, ki chanting name and doing work
Yes,
simultaneously
yes, yes.
doesn't become possible very often. What is the way to practice it?
That's that's why that's why there is what you call smaranam, remembering. Okay? Vishnu smaranam or Krishna smaranam. That's why you have to remember Krishna. And how do you remember Krishna? So when you read Bhagavad Gita, it's like doctors, they have an apple a day keeps the doctors away or something, right? So in spiritual life, there is we have this sloka a day keeps Maya away. So when you read something in the morning, let's say one sloka from the Bhagavad Gita, then you try to remember this the whole day, what you've read. No? So in this way, you'll be able to remember Krishna way. You'll be able to understand Krishna in that way, because remembering Krishna is the same as chanting Hare Krishna. Or when you chant Hare Krishna, you're also remembering the Supreme Lord. Do you follow?
Yes, Guruji. Yes, Maharaji.
So
Thank you, Maharaji.
You've read some stories or some lila of the Supreme Lord that you should do also. That you should realize in that way. Okay.
Okay, Maharaji.
That's
But
how
yes?
Yes?
thinking of the Lord or chanting the Nama, Bhagavat Nama, all the while doesn't become possible on our part sometimes.
No, see, whatever you do, it says yat karosi yat asnasi yat dadasi karosi yat. Whatever you do for Krishna. Let's say you're a professor, you're a teacher. So you think about that I'm doing this to help my family be able to survive, but I'm also doing it for Krishna. Give part of your salary to spread Krishna consciousness. Give part of your salary to the devotees who help spread Krishna consciousness. Do you follow? So your
Yes, Maharaj.
your activities becomes Krishna karma. Krishna karma. If you only use the fruits of your actions for your own benefit and you don't serve Krishna, then you will create karma. This will be the cause of your future birth. So at least some parts of your salary should be to help Krishna consciousness. Okay? This is the only way how you can purify your existence or your life. Right?
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Anything else?
Pranam Maharaj ji.
Pranam.
The one question from our side, in the special education field, we work for the person with disabilities who have some type of the disability,
right,
like visual impairment, intellectual disability, physical disability, and other. There are also 20 type of the disability, and people are working here since 20 years, 25 years in the special education, and this is a very noble cause, Maharaj ji. And it is a very social cause also. Sometimes due to government policy, due to other private policy, because this is the field of the NGO, and people have not receiving equal wages, a salary like the others institution, other professions, how they can console themselves that it is their duty, that God has given them the duty, how they fit themselves with their professions. By this question, sir, this is my questions from on behalf of my office.
You see, whatever is going on right now in our life, this is due to our previous activities and our desire. So whatever you are situated right now, you make the best out of where you are or where you at right now. And you can make the best use of this by using your talent to help others and also to help others to become God conscious or Krishna conscious. Do you understand?
I understand, Maharajji.
Yes. So Krishna always want the best for us. Okay. The way things are going is that you should be ready to do anything and everything for your benefit, to become Krishna conscious, and to help others also to become Krishna conscious. It's like it says that one should not be a guru, one should not be a king, one should not be a teacher, one should not be a parent if he cannot liberate his subjects or his children or the people under you. So your responsibility is double. You become Krishna conscious and help others Krishna conscious. It doesn't matter in whatever position you are in the society. Somehow or other, due to your karma, you know, this is the reaction. You attain this position of being a teacher. So a real teacher means not just teaching academics, but also you teach them some spiritual aspect of life. Then your purpose becomes complete. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Maharajji, for your giving blessings on this question. This is a very dynamic question among our professionals. And second more question on that is my personal questions. How we continue our spirituality with connection to organizations to avoid our stress, to avoid our pain, to be fit. Sometimes some people are connected to some organizations like ESKCON, like Mandir, like any type of Gurdwara, like any type of bhajan. So sometimes we involve how we may involve ourselves to the organization so that we must keep ourselves happy in our coming life, in today life.
Again, there is a purpose of human form of life. The purpose of human form of life is not to take birth again in this material world. So in the meantime, you have to also act in the outside world. While you're acting in the outside world, don't forget the purpose of human form of life. You are physically should be fit, and you should also become spiritually fit. Actually, most of the disease starts from the mind. But if your mind is strong, if you're always spiritually, you may say, yes, enlightened, then it doesn't matter what physical things happen to you, you still will be able to survive. So day-to-day activities, yes, is very stressful, is so much tension, so much anxiety, but this is temporary, as we have read. This comes and go. The main thing is you have to sharpen your intelligence by reading Bhagavad Gita. Start your day with reading Bhagavad Gita, even for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes. What is that compared to your 24 hours? It is practically negligible. It's not so much, isn't it? You have 24 hours. So start your day by reading Bhagavad Gita 5-10 minutes and meditate on this the whole day, how you'll be able to apply it to yourself, because Bhagavad Gita answers practically all the questions, all the answers that you will find in your day-to-day activity will be found in the Bhagavad Gita. And as we mentioned earlier, this is a universal book. Even in the West, Einstein, Emerson, Thoreau, they're not what you call the Hindus, but they're very intelligent class of people. They read this. How much more stress and anxiety do they have? Much, much more than we have here. That's why it says that the government, the leaders of the government should be ideal, because the first duty of the governments is to protect the people and to have them become Krishna conscious, make them Krishna conscious, help them become Krishna conscious. So how can you help others if you are not able to help yourself? If you are in anxiety and stress, and your students will see and find out that, oh, I'm like this. No, you should be anxiety free. And how can you be anxiety free? You read Bhagavad Gita and you chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. 5 minutes of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and 5 minutes of Bhagavad Gita shlokas, that will make your day perfect. That will make your day anxiety free, tension free. Okay?
Thank you, Maharaj. This was the nice discussions and deliberations. Thank you. From our participants, you may also ask your questions.
Yes. Any more questions?
Yes.
Comments?
Yes. Yes.
Namaste, Maharaj. Namaste.
Yes,
Myself, Muralidhar
Muralidhar.
Das from Bhubaneswar. I want to ask some questions. Sir, we are always engaging ourselves or associated with the material world. And how can we become free from this type of illusion? What is the way?
Well, there is a saying in Bengal, there's a Bengali saying, when you go fishing, don't get wet. Okay, when you go fishing, you don't get wet. We are in the material world, but don't get entangled more. When you are with others who are not following Sanatana Dharma, or not very strict in their principles, you don't get carried away. You don't be like them. You should be affirming your position that I am a Bhakta, I'm a Krishna Bhakta, I'm a Vishnu Bhakta, and therefore I don't eat meat. I don't take any pan or cigarette or chai, or, you know, as we mentioned, these 4 regulative principles. In this way, you set yourself and let them know that this is you. You can be with them, but don't be like them. You understand? You can be with them, but at the same time, you will not be affected. If you are determined, if you are focused, and you are enthusiastic in what you're doing. That's why this is what you call sadhana, especially early in the morning. We get up early in the morning by 3 o'clock. Well, at least myself. But most of us, we get up by 4 o'clock. Even grihastas, our household members. And they do sadhana. They start praying. They start meditation. They start chanting. so that, you know, by the time that it's time to go to work, you'll not be affected by any of this, what you call the association. You have to choose your association also. That's why the first rule is 𝙒𝘃𝙀𝙬𝙢, avoid the non-devotees. But for you, you cannot avoid, isn't it? But if you are strong early in the morning, the whole day you'll be protected. If you're always thinking of Krishna, you'll be always protected, as we were discussing. Okay? Yes?
Namaste Guruji, may I ask a question?
RC Gogo, he had his hand also. After you, okay. Vidushi.
Namaste Guruji.
Yes?
Guruji, my question. We are going to enter in an era where every single person will suffer from mental health issues and from depression.
Yes.
We can stop this thing just by spreading spirituality in people in whole world.
Yes.
But what we can do for those people who are not spiritual, who doesn't believe in Krishna, and they said they are atheist or something else?
Well, first of all, there's a saying, charity starts at home. So you be an ideal personality yourself. You be the best of who you can be by becoming Krishna conscious. And the others, you try to help. And if they don't want to accept what you are teaching to them about spirituality, about Krishna, there is no loss. You tried. Okay, and if they don't take it up, then they are the losers. There's a saying, you can bring the horse to the water, but you cannot force the horse to drink the water. So similarly, you can try to help others if you are in that capacity to help others in their spiritual life. But if they don't want to take it up and they want to remain the way they are, you've done your job. You've done your duty. But at least try to remind them. And don't be attached if they are not able to follow the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. We are here only to introduce to you and make a proposal. It's up to you to take whatever I mentioned in the last hour and 45 or 15 or 20 minutes. It's up to you to take it. If you take it, you'll get the benefit. If you don't take it, what can I do? I've done my part. If you have a better, statements or better presentation than the Bhagavad Gita, then I will take it. But I don't think no one will have any better presentation than Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is so perfect. If they don't want to take it, leave them alone. What can you do? Isn't it, Vidushi? Hello?
Kind of, sir. Yes, sir.
Kind of. I mean, you did not understand what I said?
Sir, actually, I just asked this question because I have a close friend, my childhood friend, she said she's an atheist and she suffered from mental depression. I want to help her.
You help her the way I mentioned here, that she has to go beyond the mind. We are not the mind, we are not the senses, we're spirit soul. She should understand that. This is the first teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. You're not the body, you're spirit soul. You can try. This is karma, actually. If she's like that, then that is karma. It's not much you can do. The only solution for that is that for her to become Krishna conscious. You can tell her, why don't you start chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra for a week and let me know. Give her an alternative. Just try, and let's see what you think about it after 1 week. Okay, chant for 10 minutes a day. Let me find out what is your observation. Give me a feedback. Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right. RC Gogu, you have a question?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
See, like we have spoke in our seminar, we spoke about the grumbling, that is mental speculation.
Yeah,
So-
gambling is mental speculation.
So here in this, I found that in this world, I found almost every individuals we have a speculation in such a wrong way. So when we look into our beliefs, according to our beliefs, according to religion, so I found unfair to it. So my question is how we can overcome from such a speculation.
Yes, very good question. So, because our senses are imperfect, we have a tendency to be illusion. We have a tendency to commit mistakes. We have tendency to cheat others. This is our 4 defects. All the human forms, they have these 4 defects. So, but the Shastra is infallible, is apuruseya. The Shastra, like Bhagavad Gita, as it is, the one that Srila Prabhupada translated and explained. This is like internationally renowned Bhagavad Gita as it is. They use this in universities, all over schools, academias, they accept this. So that's why we mentioned before the Vedas. Of course, knowledge has to be received from a right source. There's so many translations of different scriptures also, like the Bhagavad Gita. So in this way, we have to be very careful. And if we follow the directions coming from Guru, spiritual master, a bona fide representative of the Supreme Lord, then this is very, very admirable. We have 3 parallel lines that we accept the teachings, and in this way, we just accept and follow it, apply it to ourselves, and we will not get wrong. We will not speculate. Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. Sadhus means the holy men, sages who practice Bhagavad Gita in their everyday activities. They talk about Bhagavad Gita, they walk their talk, so to speak. The gurus, the spiritual master, instructing spiritual master, initiating spiritual master, and the Shastra. So, yes, everybody has their belief. Belief changes. Today I believe something, tomorrow I believe a different thing. But Shastra and Guru and Sadhu, the knowledge doesn't change. It remains as it is. Okay? So in this way, your belief is different than other belief, but your belief, you also have these 4 defects. But if you accept Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, then your knowledge is absolute. It doesn't change. Bhagavad Gita is spoken millions and millions of years ago, and now we're still reading and studying it. And for the next 10,000 years, they'll be reading and discussing the Bhagavad Gita. Never change. Okay?
Yes, okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
All right. Thank you. All right. Anything else? Purnima?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Is there any more questions or comments? In this way, we will end if there is none.
Guruji, Namaskar Guruji.
Namaskaram.
I have one question, Guruji. And what are the reason for the declining spiritual concepts in the children where we failed?
You were cutting off. What is that again?
What are the reasons for decline of spiritual concepts in the school-going children where we failed? As a faculty and as a parents, where we failed.
Both?
We are
I don't think you have not failed, because failed means defeated already.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a decline. Let's say decline. There's a decline of spirituality because foremost, the parents, where they're coming from, they have to be taught right from the very early stage of their life, in their childhood, and keep reminding them, and it should continue in the schools. The teachers or the professors also should continue this. They should be like part of the curriculum that, and unfortunately, there is no department in the universities or colleges or schools that teach spirituality, that teach the nature of the soul, that teach what is Bhagavad Gita. So if you start your day, just read one sloka, because it's a universal knowledge, and that will help your students also to become purified. There is a decline because this is the trick of Maya, and we are in Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga means this is the age of quarrel and hypocrisy. This is the Iron Age, where things are topsy-turvy, upside down. So it's the duties of the parents and it's the duties of the teachers to remind the students or their subjects or their children about the importance of, or the value of spirituality or spiritual life. You have both teachers and the parents have responsibilities to upgrade everyone under their shelter, under their wings, to become more and more spiritual. Okay?
Dhanyavad, Guruji.
Thank you. Thank you. Anything else?
Hare Krishna
Hare
Maharaj.
Krishna.
Thank you. I, on behalf of my colleagues and the entire community, first of all, spread my most sincere thanks to the Lord Krishna. Without his mercy and grace, this event was not possible.
Yes.
I'm audible?
Yes.
I want to thank His Holiness Bhakti Anugraha Janardhan Swamiji Maharaj, who gave me his vital time from his busy schedule to grace this meeting. I want to thank to all speakers for drawing their necessary work and sharing with us graceful opinion. Thank you everyone who were instrumental in making this event a success. Now I would request to Miss Veena Kumar kindly to sum up the webinar. Over to you, ma'am. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Purnima ma'am. A warm and graceful afternoon to our most valued Honorable Patron Director, Niepvd Dehradun, HIMANGSHU Das sir, worthy teachers, and everyone joined here. It's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks, speech, and acknowledge the contribution of those who work really hard to organize this webinar on mental well-being through spirituality. I, Veena Kumar. Okay.
Yes.
I, Veena Kumar, on the behalf of National Institute for the Empowerment of Persons with Visual Disabilities and entire fraternity of the institution, first of all, extend my most sincere thanks to Almighty God for making today's event a success. With His blessing and grace, we were able to make this event what it was.
John.
On the behalf of institution, I extend a really heartfelt vote of thanks to Dr. JASMER Singh, Deputy Commissioner of Examination, Niepvd, NBER, who spread time from his busy schedule a grace to the occasion. Today, we had an opportunity to hear your thoughts and his This will surely be going to encourage us in our future events. I am immensely thankful to devotee His Holiness Bhakti Anugraha Janardhan Swamiji from ISKCON. Your thoughts have enlightened our minds and have shown us a new path. My gratitude to all speakers for gracing the occasion and sharing their opinions today. I am immensely thankful to Ms. Purnima Sharma coordination for her efforts towards success of this event. Our sincere gratitude goes to all participants, TCTVS faculties joining there from all over India. Thank you for ensuring your internet connectivity, for making this virtual event so vivid. Thank you so much for attending this event. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Swamiji.
Thank you. Hope to see you again some other time. Hare Krishna. Maybe we'll visit Dehradun, your school, one day.
Yes, sir. Surely we will be happy, sir. Maharaj, when you, on behalf of our participants, now I would like to thank from all the participants' behalf, Sri Nivasanji Reddy, how they feel by connecting this type of the program on behalf of everybody. I would like to sum up on behalf of participant, Sri Nivasan Reddy ji.
Dhanyavad. Hare Krishna. Goodbye for now.
Bye.